So now our app is working fine with navigation 3. Whenever we press this next button, then we are adding a new route in our backstack list, and this is a mutable state list. And remember also, so whenever a new item is added or an item is removed from this list, a recomposition is triggered and we see a new screen in this process. But we have a problem here, and I want to show you the problem. Say we are in the second screen by pressing the next button, and at this point if I rotate the phone or change the orientation, then in normal way we should be able to see the same screen. So I'm going to press this button, and surprisingly you see that now we are back to our first screen. And now hit next and change the orientation from landscape to portrait, and now once again we are in the first screen. So somehow the state of this backstack list is lost during this configuration process, because it is a simple list that we created, and now it's up to us how we can save the keys through this during this orientation change or kill process or something like that. So Navigation 3 actually provides a convenient way to remember these keys during the configuration change or process kill. But before we do that, we need to make some modifications inside our keys file. So first of all, we need to tell the system that these keys should be remembered. And to do so, we need to make each object as serializable object. So I have to use this annotation, serializable, from here and also to here, serializable. And don't worry about this text. This is auto-generated text by Kotlin compiler plugin, so you cannot select it. Even you cannot. When I first saw this, I was very much confused because I cannot select it. So this is like a snapshot that we cannot modify. Okay, so now our routes are serializable, and the second thing is we need to implement an interface to both this object. So after first route, we have to implement a nav key interface from Android X Navigation 3 runtime over here, and also over here, nav key. So these are called the markup interfaces. If you go inside this interface, you see nothing defined inside this kind of interfaces. These are called markup interfaces, just to provide or send a signal to the compiler, and in this case it will send a signal to the compiler that these two routes should be saved. And now we need to go back to our main activity and find the place where we have defined the backstack. So instead of mutable state list of any, this one, we have to use another function. I'm going to remove this, or maybe I am going to disable this line and duplicate, and so that you have a reference of the previous version. So instead of this remember, I'm going to call another function which is remember nav backstack. Okay, and just like before, I have to provide the first route, just like that. Okay, so with this modification, I think now if I read on this application and change the orientation one more time, then perhaps we'll see now this time the state will be persisted. Okay, so now let's go to the second screen and now change the orientation, and now it works. Okay, and now hit again. Okay, now it's working. So we have used the provided method that is provided by Navigation 3 by remember nav backstack, but since this is a list that we created, there are possibly many other ways to persist this list. This is completely up to us how we persist. We can even use a view model to store and save the state of this list, because we know that view models are lifecycle error. But this is the simplest way, because this remember nav backstack function that the Navigation 3 provides. So this is one way. There are other ways, and I think when the time is right, you can easily learn the other processes.